Hello, listeners, and welcome to Youth Ventures podcast, PDX Business Spotlight. Hello, listeners. Welcome to this podcast episode of PDX Business Spotlight. Today, we are so delighted to welcome Palani Burgos, who is the founder and CEO of NEO, which stands for No End Of. So, Palani, could you please give an overview of who you are, what your business is about, and how you got started?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to connect with the PDX community. Iminyachi Yapi Palani Burgos. I'm the CEO and founder of NEO, No End Of. NEO, there's a beginning, but there's no end of on your creative journey. It's infinite. I am also a member of the 3 affiliated tribes, Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara. And my business is a neo-contemporary, traditional, indigenous design, progressive streetwear clothing company. Amongst that, NEO also works with our indigenous communities with giving back a percentage of the funds to several different nonprofit organizations that work within the indigenous communities, also that work with other nonprofits to give back, that are also helping the Black Lives Matter movement. Also, we work with the LGBTQ plus community, and we provide a platform for the voiceless, a creative outlet to be able to express, and also that pays homage to my cultural indigenous roots.
Wow, that sounds amazing. First of all, Palani, I was looking at your website and just all of the fashionable clothing was so stylish and gorgeous. And it's so amazing to know that while also running NEO, you're also just trying your best to give back to the community as well. That's amazing to know.
Yes, community is important, and it's a ripple effect with the work that I do to be able to give back. It's important for our future generations. It's important for our families, and also to help our socioeconomics for the Native American community to be able to rise and to continue thriving.
Yeah, definitely. And Palani, who or what inspired you to start NEO?
I was inspired to create a brand that I wish existed, with the progressive streetwear clothing that's innovative, that's timeless, and that is giving a style that has messages that are weaved throughout each piece and throughout each collection, giving confidence and also comfort and multifunctional fit in each of the pieces that I'm hoping that each of my customers that purchase NEO feels and gets when they wear each garment.
And Palani, how do your designs incorporate the ancient native culture? And could you also tell us more about the traditional indigenous designs that inspire your pieces?
Yes. So to honor our ancestors and those that came before us, our storytelling is a big part of our culture, and the symbolicness of the symbols that are used as well to share that story. So through each of the pieces, whether it's through the embroidery or the typography or the symbols that are in each pieces, and also using upcycled materials that were passed down from my grandmother, because my grandmother was a seamstress as well. So I tried to use upcycled pieces and scraps, and also trying to use sustainable fabric such as organic fabrics or hemp fabrics that leave less of a carbon footprint.
Wow. And I was looking at your designs and just the intricate detail and everything coming together. It was so beautiful.
Oh, I appreciate that. Neo also does limited runs in each of the collections, so it's not mass produced, and it's very consciously made and set with intention and love, and also the slow process of creations of each collection. So each collection is limited runs. I'm also starting to do custom one-of-a-kind pieces, and I'm also integrating some vintage pieces as well, because I love vintage. Vintage with representation of different eras of time.
That sounds really beautiful. And Palani, I think it's just so amazing that even while producing such beautiful clothing, you're really keeping in mind about like reducing the carbon footprint and still continuing to like save the planet too.
Oh, thank you.
And Palani, how has being a person of color affected your business?
Being a person of color has affected my business in positive ways, because we are still here as Indigenous people, and it's important to have representation with Indigenous people to be able to provide opportunities for our future generations, up and coming artisans, and also working with trailblazers that are already established as well. Because I think it's important to be able to give back with the knowledge, with experience, and providing them to be able to embrace different skill sets, and also just learning that ancient knowledge of wisdom that our Indigenous people and our ancestors have always had. And I believe that resilience is weaved into our DNA. So it's important to be able to pay it forward.
Wow. And Palani, this might be a bit of a difficult question, but what's your favorite piece of clothing that you sell, and what does it mean to you?
Ooh, that is a hard one. It's a hard one because I truly appreciate each piece. But I would have to say, I think one of my favorite pieces was a denim jumpsuit, and it had embroidered arrowheads on it, and it was also a harem cut, so it was designed for movement, and movement is medicine. So when we move in life, in anything we do, we want to feel strong. We want to feel not constricted. So I feel like the denim arrowhead Neo jumpsuit is probably by far one of my favorite pieces, and it's also one of my go-to pieces that I wear most frequently. Wow. Because it is so comfortable, but it also has that strength and resilience in the arrowheads, and also breaking barriers. The arrowhead represents breaking barriers and guidance and protection, and also shooting you in the right direction in life.
Wow. I love how each like single piece of clothing is not only like super stylish, but it also has such a deep meaning, and it allows for comfort and movement and everything that you mentioned.
I love it. I love Neo, and I think everybody that has supported a Native-owned small business, everyone that has supported is what helps our small business thrive, and also to continually work with our team of people that also supports their families as well.
And I know this past year has been so chaotic, and the previous businesses that I interviewed, they usually had a positive impact due to the pandemic. But Palani, how has the pandemic affected your business? Has it had any upsides or downsides?
The pandemic has affected my business in positive and negative ways. Definitely not being able to connect with my community in person with events and fashion shows and pop-ups. And I really do miss connecting with the community in person and in real life. But the positive effects with that came with pivoting with purpose and taking my business, and elevating it into the digital marketing realm and being able to connect with everybody safely via social media, through our outlets, through Instagram at No End of Designs, also through Facebook with our Neo page, and also on our website, and also just creating videos and learning how to navigate in a way that you're learning more technology, through creating videos, and also through the film, and just sharing the story, but doing it through digital marketing and hoping to still remain connected in that way. But this weekend I will be vending for the first time in almost a year and a half, and I'll be vending with Produce Portland, which is in the northwest of PDX. So if you guys are open to an outdoor event that is socially distanced, also we will be wearing masks and sanitized, but there will be music, food, and other local small businesses that are streetwear and vintage. So come support your local businesses, your local artists, and also support the underground.
Definitely. That sounds so exciting. And listeners, we will be linking some more information about that event. So if you do have time this weekend, please go check it out and support your local businesses. Palani, what advice do you have for young entrepreneurs of color? And what are some experiences that you could talk about that might motivate or inspire them?
The inspiration that I could give to provide for other BIPOC youth or that are looking to go into business, or just also be able to follow your dreams is to be authentic. Don't ever forget where you came from, and don't ever lose sight of that. It's important to remember that your culture, your family, your community is what helped shape you. So to remain authentic and be true to who you are, and never forget where you come from.
Wow, thank you, Palani. That was definitely really inspirational. And Palani, one important question is, how can people support your business?
Yes, please come support Neo. Our website is at noendofclothing.com. Again, with purchasing Neo, we also give percentage of the funds to go back to nonprofits that we specifically work with, also back to our indigenous communities. We also have our clothing in Jailbreak Studios, which is located here also in PDX, and Jailbreak Studios supports women and BIPOC and the LGBT community with local artisans. So go check out Jailbreak Studios for Neo to be carried, and also to support other local artists and artisans here in PDX. And also follow us at No End of Designs.
That's amazing. And also, is there anything, for example, any social media or any upcoming projects that you would like to plug?
Yes. So Neo was a part of Take It All Back. The artist that I worked with, he'll be releasing the drop of his song, Take It All Back. And that's a representation for indigenous communities to be supported from all directions and land back. And it's reclaiming our culture and reclaiming who we are as people. So follow X. His handle on Instagram is XIUHTEZCATL. So stay tuned for that drop and the music video, amazing collection, and also street art that will be debuted. That again is dropping on 5/14. Also follow Dr. B's collections for other indigenous made accessories and goods. I've also been a part of that as a designer with that team of indigenous creatives. So follow Dr. B's collections. And yeah, I just want to say thank you again for supporting the underrepresented and providing a platform for the voiceless, and to give us an opportunity to be able to share our stories. So I appreciate you, Youth Venture.
Thank you so much, Palani. It was truly an honor to talk to you. And listeners, don't forget to check out Neo at their social medias, which will be linked. And all of the events and social medias that Palani mentioned will also be linked. And check them out at their social medias and visit their website and buy from them. And that's it from PDX Business Spotlight. We hope you join us in the next episode. Thank you for listening to PDX Business Spotlight by Youth